Hi everyone, Sean Gilliam here with Location Real Estate. I hope you're all doing well and staying healthy. I wanted to reach out and give you a quick market update to show how the housing market is progressing so far this year, and then also to give some reassurance looking forward. I know there's a lot of uncertainty with regards to the coronavirus pandemic, and so there's some concerns that the housing crisis will start, that property values will decrease. I don't think that's going to be the case. We'll take a look at several reasons why, as well as some graphics that I have for you to give you an indication of what things have done in the past, as well as what it's likely going to look like in the future here. But first, let's take a look at the local market update for the city of Longmont. Take a look at this chart that I have before you here. A couple of things I want to highlight is that we have a decrease in new listings, so we have low inventory. In fact, if you look down here, it's 1.4 month supply of inventory. That's what it looked like between about 2015 and 2018. And so still a good seller's market, but also take a look at this. Closed sales are up 14.5%. Pending sales are up 15.5% compared to February of 2019. So I think that's a good indication that there's a lot of buyers out there. There's a lot of good activity on the market. So if you choose to put your home on the market, you're going to get a good amount of interest. In fact, I've seen some multiple offer scenarios already with some properties and transactions that I've been involved in. So overall, I think there's good activity on the market. I think it's important to point out with the coronavirus pandemic that there are going to be people that are pulling back. Some buyers that it's not mandatory for them to buy a house, they're kind of holding back. And some sellers are going to wait and see what happens with this whole thing. But that's just a minority, I should say. I think overall, there's still a lot of good market activity out there. There's people out there that want to buy, and there are people out there that want to sell. So it's still a good time to get involved in real estate. As we look at the different those things I just pointed out, the lack of or the decrease in new listings, the increase in closed and pending sales, and of course that month supply of inventory has gone down. It's pretty much the same across the board. As we look at Boulder County, you can see similar numbers there, a decrease in new listings, a decrease in month supply of inventory, but definitely a lot more activity as far as closed sales. Larimer County shows similar numbers. So we can see that there, pending sales went up significantly in February. A little bit of a decrease in closed sales, but not a significant amount. And then we can see similar numbers for Weld County. A lot of activities going on there. Decrease in new listings, increase in closed and pending sales, and of course, consequently, there's that decrease in month supply of inventory. So low supply, high demand, lots of buyers out there, and I think that translates moving forward into property values while we're going through this crisis as Americans. Property values will at least stay the same. I don't think they'll decrease significantly, if at all, but I think moving forward, especially once the economy bounces back, I think they're going to continue on that upward swing. So I think overall we're going to be okay. Now, as far as why I don't think we're going to be heading into a housing crisis, I have several reasons for that. One is that we have a solid foundation to our economy. Home values have gone up here in northern Colorado because of the simple principles of supply and demand. So it's not a housing bubble like we saw back in 2007 and 2008. That was a result of poor lending practices, and people that really couldn't afford to buy a home were getting mortgages that ultimately it just caught up with them. They couldn't make their payments, and so many people were foreclosed on. And that's what caused our housing crisis back then. We don't have those issues now. The regulations for getting a loan are pretty strong, pretty significant. And so you really have to prove that you can pay those bills moving forward. And so everybody that's getting a mortgage for the most part is in a good position. I think with the economy taking a dip here because of this pandemic, some people are losing their jobs, but for the most part, people are keeping their jobs, able to work from home. And I don't think that it's really going to have a serious impact on the housing market. So again, a solid foundation to our economy. A couple of graphics I want to show you related to our economy is first this one here. A recession does not equal a housing crisis. If you look at the last 5 recessions, 3 out of those 5 last recessions, we saw home values increase. Obviously 1991 and 2008. 2008, as I mentioned, was an entirely different set of circumstances. We have a strong economy, a solid economy, and so I think we're going to be like 1980, 81, and 2001. So overall, I think things are going to be okay. Also, taking a look at this graphic here, Goldman Sachs has a gross domestic product forecast, and they predict that it's going to take a dip here in the second quarter, but then in the third and fourth quarter, the latter half of the year, things are going to go back up. And so overall, I think we're going to look good, and they're predicting further strong gains in early of 2021. So the forecast is good. I think we're going to take a little dip or a hiccup here as far as our economy is concerned. We saw the stock market do some great reductions, across the board. However, I think a positive indicator, we had good news this morning of hopes of a stimulus package being put together, and investors came out in full force to buy in the stock market. So if you look at the stock market today, almost every stock out there is in the green. So they've seen some significant increases there. So overall, we have a good economy. We have that low supply and high demand that, when buyers come out in full force again, I think that's really going to have a positive impact on property values and market activity. In fact, when I just pulled up the last 7 days of activity in the greater Longmont area, so that's 80501 and 80504 zip codes, we saw in the last 7 days 41 new listings, 45 properties under contract, and 25 closings. So there's still a good amount of activity out there, and I think there's still people that are confident moving forward with the real estate market, whether to buy or to sell. So all that to say, in a nutshell, I think we're going to be okay. We might see a minor dip in housing prices. I doubt it. I think it's going to at least stay the same or continue to increase as there's still a lot of good activity on the market. And then, I think it's just a matter of overall hunkering down as we're facing this pandemic. I think in the coming weeks, we can expect to see a lot of uncertainty and a tumultuous market overall with the stock market and the economy, those kinds of things. But I think we're going to pull out of this, because once things really start to be consistently positive as far as news that we receive, as far as economic indicators are distributed, I think things are going to bounce back really strong because of that solid economy that we're sitting on. So I think one thing we can all do is just look out for one another, take care of our families. Sometimes that might mean avoiding each other, but that also might mean reaching out to people and getting groceries for them. Reaching out to people and connecting with them. I know a lot of people are isolated, working at home. They don't have a family that they live with, those kinds of things. So make sure you're connecting with other people. Make sure everybody's doing well. Keep in touch. Thank God for technology. We can do that with FaceTime and other platforms like that. So it's just a great opportunity to reach out and take care of your neighbor. If you have any questions, you can reach me here at 970-313-6706. Again, that's 970-313-6706. If you have any questions about the real estate market or any of the data that I've shared, or if you're interested in buying a home or selling a home, I'd be glad to talk with you and give you some helpful information and get you started in that process. So I look forward to talking to you soon. And again, feel free to get in touch if you need anything. Take care and God bless.